Hey guys, Brooke Whipple here. Welcome to my channel. I've been doing some recipes with sourdough lately. I've had a lot of questions about how do you make the sourdough starter. So today, that's what this video is all about. Super easy, and then it'll get you making all those awesome recipes I've been teaching you. Stay tuned. Alright, so you've seen the sourdough rolls, and the fry bread, and the pizza. And I've got more videos coming about sourdough, but first you need a good sourdough starter. And you want it to look like this. Delicious, sour smelling, bubbly, and ready to go. That is what a good, healthy sourdough starter looks like. Now I fed it this morning. It got all bubbly and now it's kind of coming back down. But it's a very creamy, smooth, and delicious starter. This sourdough smells amazing. You can smell that it's got a nice sour smell. It's not a bad smell. Nice and sour like sour cream would be. This is a starter that I use all the time. All you need is a bowl, and you need either a ceramic, a glass, or a plastic bowl. Don't use metal because sourdough is so acidic and it will kind of react with your metal. All you need is a bowl and equal parts flour and water. And here I've got 1 cup of water and 1 cup of flour. 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of water. Now when you're making your sourdough, you don't really have to worry about like getting all the clumps mixed in and whatnot. As it sits on your counter and ferments, it'll eat up those chunks. So you don't have to be like super religious about, you know, getting all the little lumps and clumps out. So that's it right there, water and flour. Now comes the really hard part. Waiting. Now how this works is it's just going to gather in the natural yeast in your environment. It's going to start fermenting and it's going to eat itself. You've probably heard about people feeding their sourdough. All it is adding more water and more flour to the mixture so it's got something to digest. That's what makes it bubbly, that's what makes it rise, that's what gives it that beautiful sour smell and taste. I'm just gonna lightly put the lid on. Don't snap it down because it's gonna create its own gases and it's gonna build up. So you just lightly put the cover on and you set it on your counter. And tomorrow, maybe just stir it up. Maybe the next day, give it a feeding. Equal parts water and flour all the time. That's all there is to feeding a sourdough. Eventually, every day, it'll get a little more sour and start to ferment every day. A week from now, we should have a sourdough that we could use. We'll check back in on this starter in a couple days and I'll show you how to feed it. But again, alright guys, it's day 4. I haven't filmed really much up until this point. I want to show you what we got. This is what the starter looks like. Day 4, I fed it yesterday. I've only fed it once. It's starting to smell a little sour. You can see this beautiful liquid on top. You can see it's getting a little happy underneath, a little bit bubbly. We're going to add some more flour and water right now. Let me show you what it looks like. Alright, and I want to show you my own starter. Now, this is my regular starter I use all the time. I fed it yesterday, and so you can A/B them. This is the new starter, and this is my old one that is very active and smells like sour cream. It's goodness. I'm going to feed this one too, but we're really focused on this one because it's brand new. Let me show you what we're going to do. Alright, I'm just going to add a little bit of flour. I don't measure, I mean, I'm just throwing it in there. And some water. Pretty thick right now. I'm probably going to add a little bit more water than flour today. But it is starting to turn into sourdough. It's starting to get happy. So I'm going to add just a little more water than flour this time. It's pretty thick. So that's what it looks like after I've added some flour and water. Nice and gooey. Looking good. All right, this is my active starter. I'm going to add just a little bit of flour and water to it. Oh, it smells so good. Don't really need to add much. I'm going to be making pizza tonight with this, so I'm just refreshing the starter and getting it really nice and active, so when I make my dough, it's going to be really happy. So this is the new starter. You can see that I just fed it. It's got a few little bubbles in it, but look at this one. This is my active starter, and it is very happy after being fed some water and some flour. So that's what you're looking for. This is the new starter. That's the old starter. And this one is starting to get happy, guys. It's looking good. All right, guys, it is day 7. Let's take a look at our sourdough. I haven't fed it since day 5, but I know we are probably there. Okay, all right. It definitely smells like sourdough at this point, so let me show you. All right, you can see it's got a nice watery liquid on top, and that's what you want. It's all good. I'm just gonna stir it in a little, and it definitely smells like sourdough now. We're definitely there. If I feed this right now, it's gonna get all bubbly and amazing. Watch what happens. Just gonna give it some flour. Just a little water. I'm sure that once this gets going, it's going to be very happy, and what we have is bona fide sourdough. Now this is my sourdough that I always use, and I fed it this morning, so you can see that these now are starting to look the same. Now there's my sourdough that's brand new, and this is the sourdough I use all the time, which I fed several hours ago. It's looking good, but look at, they're looking very similar now. Both bubbly, both happy. That's what we want. So there you have it. That is how you make a sourdough starter from scratch, just sitting on your counter. Nothing but flour and water. In order to use this, you're gonna wanna feed it maybe an hour or 2 before you wanna use it, so it's nice and active and bubbly. Then put it in any recipe and use it. When you're not using it, you can keep it in your refrigerator. It just kind of slows down and stops the action. When you want to use it, take it out of the fridge, let it warm up, feed it for a couple days until it gets nice and bubbly again, and it'll be ready to go all over. You can have an endless supply of sourdough. All you gotta do is add flour and water, and you're good to go. So leave your comments below on how you're doing on starting your sourdough. There's lots of good sourdough recipes coming, so stay tuned. I'll see you next time. This girl in the woods, she gone. Oh, don't forget to get outside and get happy.